We've been exhausted, so we made some changes. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shanna, and if you are new here, we're a homeschooling family of 4. We are entering our 9th year of homeschooling. We have 13 and 9-year-old girls, and we are guilty of falling into the more kids activity trap. And today, I just want to talk with you about our plans for the upcoming year. Before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. This is a topic that I am guilty of, that I recognize is a problem, and even after recognizing it was a problem, continued to do in some capacity. As you guys know, I've talked about it a lot in my planning, that we are intentionally lightening our load and simplifying our homeschool going into the 2025-2026 homeschool year. I am carving out a bunch of fluff. I am dropping some things by the wayside for a couple of reasons. We really struggled this past year with home repairs, selling our home, moving. We really struggled to stay on track this past year. And I think part of that is because I've been doing it the way I've always done it. The way I've always done it is we chose a bunch of stuff and we loved it and we enjoyed it and we had homeschool and it was fun. But I have a kid in 8th grade now who is going to be getting into meatier things and bigger things and more in-depth things. And my baby is in 4th grade. My baby, which 4th grade, if you know, it's actually pretty old for homeschooling. A lot of people will transition back in for middle school, and if they don't, most of those then transition back in for high school instead of continuing with the homeschool path. My kids are old enough now that they have like very specific interests and things that they enjoy. They have found musical instruments and they have found extracurriculars that are what they want to be doing, where they want to be doing it, who they want to be doing it with, and things that will, in a lot of ways, translate to their adult lives and serve them well over their high school and college career and on into real life. So because of that, we have decided to not only simplify our homeschool, but restructure our home life a bit. We have been guilty of, there was a time when my oldest, back when she danced, she never did competitive dance, but she was on a company, like a performance company, and then also at a studio that we transitioned to a studio that did do competitive dance. She just didn't do it because that's just not for her. That was her choice. But I have been guilty of buying into this notion, and it is, I swear, like genuinely, I think there's going to be a reckoning coming for our American parenting style and American family style and kids' activities. It is so easy. And I know that I'm not isolated in this. I know that it's very common. And I know that it is rampant across any single thing that your kid could do. So, when we were young, like I remember if you did stuff at school, you just, stayed after and did your sport or whatever. And that was it. That was what you did. And then if you did do something like, Pee-wee football or little cheerleader or whatever, it was usually like one practice a week and then a game, maybe, The way that we have, and I think it's been a slow transition, I do, and again, I'm guilty, where we have gotten our kids to a point where they spend all day in school, and then we have instruments or tutoring or extra reading time or homework and their extracurriculars. Because even if, and I've seen this with gymnastics and dance, even if your kid is, let's say, a 5-year-old dancer, there becomes an increasing expectation that they need a level of training that would rival Olympic gymnasts. Like Kids these days are expected, and again, I've been guilty of having my daughter in some sort of dance class 5-6 days a week. And it's because there's this pressure put on you to do more than the next guy, to give them a leg up. A leg up for what? I still don't fully understand. The number of kids in ballet that could then go on and become professional ballerinas is not high. That is not a high exchange rate. There is this idea that if your kid plays, fall ball, that they also need to do spring ball and travel ball and private coaching or private lessons and private intensives. And I don't know why we're doing it. I think it's so weird to me because I watch families be fractured by the amount of time that their kids are in a thing. I watch families struggle with the cost that comes with these things. And I'm not seeing the benefit. And there's going to be people who are like, oh, my kid got a scholarship to college. Okay, but if you spent college tuition every year on the rise up to getting that thing, I mean, is that, you're just paying it up front. It could be that I am of this crazy idea that I like my family, my husband and my children, and I want to have us all be together for certain amounts of time. Every week, day, year, I would like us to have FaceTime with each other. It has gotten, and I mean so expensive, guys, so expensive. People are easily dropping 10 grand a year on children's extracurricular activities. It has gotten so insane that this year we've decided, and we're in a sweet spot. We've decided that we are going to keep kids' activities to different kids doing two very different things. We're going to keep our kids' activities narrowed down. My goal is 2 days. It might wind up being 3, but my goal is 2 days. And keeping the rest of it sacred. Now, there are times when this will be different. My oldest is pursuing musical theater, which means she's doing acting things, dancing things, and singing things. I am not counting music lessons because those are during the day. My youngest, her passion, she has found art, animals, and Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts of all things. She absolutely loves Girl Scouts. She meets with a homeschool troop that does meet during the day, which is great. Between the two of them, so big kid, acting, dance, voice, and the little kid is doing Girl Scouts and art. She has a special art class. We are actively working to keep all of our family's commitments in certain hours of the day on only 2 days of the week. That is our goal. There will be extra special circumstances. If there is an acting intensive that's like 4 weeks long, sure, let's talk about it. If there is a special performance coming up for Girl Scouts or a project or whatever, we will do our best to make that happen for you. My older kid does audition and participates in shows in our area. It's not consistent. They're not back to back, but that is another special circumstance. So if I can wrap my brain around 6 weeks or 8 weeks of a commitment, that's a lot more palatable to me than this rat race into financial ruin and exhaustion that I feel like is plaguing youth and peewee sports and activities. And you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it all. I know that there's this sense of urgency that if you don't get their muscle memory, where it should be, they're going to fall behind and they're not going to do as well. And that is another way that we are using just kind of a broad stroke to measure our children. And I just don't feel like we should be doing that. So in an effort to simplify our home lives, in an effort to continue the simplification of our homeschool lives and to really enjoy our time as a family, this is another one of those pivots that we're making, is simplifying my kids' extracurriculars. Now, they will still do all of the things that they want to do. We are just giving it boundaries. So if we can predetermine what our boundaries are, it's going to be a lot easier to say no later. If they're like, oh, well, there's this other special class you could add on this, 4th day of the week. No, thank you. I'm so sorry, but we have things that we are sticking to. And as we are fostering more animals in our home, it's nice to be together as a family. So as of right now, we have significantly narrowed down when extracurriculars are. I don't even know that we've necessarily taken any out, so much as putting those parameters on when it can be. That ensures and guarantees to me that we are having fresh, home-cooked meals 4 and 5 days a week, together at the table as a family, because again, we kind of like each other and we want to spend time together. So I just want to remind you, you don't have to do it all. Your kids will get there. Maybe it's not meant for them. It is okay if something that they do is just for fun. I know that's a wild and crazy idea. They don't have to do it professionally. They don't have to do it D1. They don't even ever have to pick it up again. But it is okay if things are done just for fun. I don't know why we as a society have shifted. And I think maybe it's probably some overcompensation from us 80s and 90s kids where we wanted to do more and we weren't given the opportunity. Is it an overcompensation of this internet age where we know about every single bad thing that could possibly happen? Is it that we can't stomach the idea of our kids being bored or not having exactly what they want at all times? Is it that FOMO of fear of missing out, that we're not doing what somebody else is doing, that somebody else is getting more, that somebody else is going to get a different result, somebody else is going to get a little leg up? So what is it and why are we doing this to ourselves? If you've got an idea or a theory, drop it down below. Have you realized, have you sat down and accounted for how much you're spending, how much time you're spending, what you could be doing differently? Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you just trying to suffer it out until it gets a little lighter and a little better? Because again, I want to remind you, we should be making everyday magic. And for me, that means allowing my kids to do what they love, but also getting to spend time with the ones that I love. So what is it? What are you doing? Are you serving yourself by the efforts, the endeavors that you're putting your kid through? And is it really serving them? I think a lot of people get into this trap of thinking, well, that's their socialization. That's their friends. Their friends are doing it. Maybe my kid wants to do it. That was actually how we figured out she did not want to do competitive dance. She had no interest in it, regardless of the fact every single other person was doing it. Every single other person was in the room for the meeting. Every single other person actively wanted to pursue it. It was a really kind of like eye-opening moment for us. So very curious to hear what you have to say about this topic, because I think it is increasingly picking up speed, insane, that we are doing this to ourselves, to our families, to our pocketbooks, and to our kids. So tell me, what are your thoughts? Guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. Let's expand this conversation because I am genuinely curious. How is it going for you? How much time are you spending? How much pressure are you receiving for one more private, one more lesson, one more blah, 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 blah? What's it like for you out in the real world? Because for us, it is suffocating and exhausting. And I am happy that we are just putting a little bit of edge on it so that we can keep ourselves sane, happy, and together, enjoying our evenings together as a family. So, bye guys.